Hello, gamers.
Hello!
Welcome in, everybody. Please, chatters, say hello to the elusive, the incomparable, the immeasurable, the absolute legend, the Pisces legend, Snakes on Snakes, the Snakes on Snakes. How are you, Snakesy?
I am fantastic, Sam. How are you?
I'm good. I'm pretty good. Yeah, no, I've been like really. So let's do claps. The Snakes on Snakes. Exactly. Very true. No, okay. So like what like everybody else probably met you through TikTok and then came into a couple streams like early like when I started speedrunning and like loved watching your streams to like learn like it's just you have such an energy that like makes like learning about speedrunning and like getting involved in the space like so welcoming and inviting. And I've like it's like you're fantastic, and like ever since then like I'll pop in your streams, like I'm just a big fan. Like I just think you
Thank
I think you do
you.
great stuff.
It's so nice to
Hi
hear.
Jolie.
Wow, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, totally. But like we should do the thing that I do every time, which is like for you, like would you mind kind of introducing everybody to who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so as you guys know, I'm Snakes, and I'm mostly Minecraft streamer and speedrunner. That's usually my pitch to everybody. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm big into supporting the female speedrunning community because there's not too many of us out there. It's getting a little bit better now, I've found, but it's been really exciting to get involved in trying to create some sort of little bit of a non-toxic speedrunning community, which I feel like there isn't really much of that right now out there, and I've been having a lot of trouble. Like when I started speedrunning, I felt like I couldn't go into any forums or anything and talk to people because I was too afraid that they were gonna judge my times, or they were gonna be like, "You're a woman, you're trash." So I'm very, very happy to have kind of even created this little bit of a non-toxic speedrunning community. But other than that, I also love to do all sorts of Minecraft content. I'm like a huge Minecraft lover. I wouldn't really consider myself too much of a gamer, more of a Minecrafter. But, I also started playing Bed Wars this year, and I've fallen in love with that because Grace introduced me to Bed Wars. Grace is in chat right now, but
Mm-hmm.
um, that I feel like has actually improved my speedrunning abilities by a lot, which has been great. I feel like it's also improved my Minecrafting by a lot. And I never played Bed Wars before this year, which is actually crazy to think because I love it so much now. And then also, I just opened my new community SMP, so I'm really excited about that. And we've built like a wonderful little community in there, and it seems like everybody's being super welcoming. It makes me really, really happy. So that's what we're doing over there, trying to create a nice, happy community, non-toxic, and everyone seems to be lovely in there and supporting each other, and I love it.
No, Snakesy, that's like actually like I have other kind of like basic level questions I want to ask you about, but I do this sometimes in interviews where I'm like, let's just go into the deep end. Like one of the things I think is really cool about what you do is that you are like even though you mostly play Minecraft and sometimes do drumming, like you are also very much like you bring variety to it. You do a lot of different stuff. Like you do community nights. You play Bed Wars. Like you bring kind of all of these different like what is one of the things that's so great about Minecraft, which is that you can play it so many different ways. Like you find ways to bring it into that. Like what has kind of like pushed you to want to do that to like find that variety, and like how has it kind of informed what you're doing?
Well, in the beginning, honestly, I just wanted to stream speedrunning all the time because I was obsessed. I mean, I'm still
Mm-hmm.
obsessed with speedrunning. I'm feeling a little bit sad because I'm worried I'm not going to achieve my speedrunning goal this year, which we can talk about later. But um, I
Relatable,
originally wanted to
relatable.
just stream speedrunning, and I'm like, if I just stream the same thing every day, people are gonna get sick of it. I don't want people to think all this. And then started doing some community nights, and I found that like the community was so nice and
Mm-hmm.
welcoming, and like so many people would come and enjoy those streams and took them out of their daily life. It just made them super happy. So started doing more of those. Sometimes I find those a little bit more stressful personally because there's a lot of moving parts in those.
Mm-hmm.
But I just try to do a variety because first of all, like then I won't get bored, and then everyone who's watching won't get bored and all of that. But I love Minecraft because there's so much customizability in it, so you can do so many different things, and that's what makes me happy about the game. And I mean, obviously that's why we've all been playing it for so long, right?
Totally. Yeah, and y'all, if you don't mind, really quick, I just had to ban somebody in chat. Can everybody that's sub drop your Zamka bans? I wasn't gonna do anyway.
You don't want to
It's
buy followers and views?
I don't. No, I don't. It's so funny actually that you say that. Anyway, no, and I think that's really cool, and I think that like it's really interesting. Like, thank you for dropping the Zamka ban. Anyway, I think it's really interesting like that you do the community nights because they can be tricky. Like it can be a tricky thing to navigate. Like how like have you like because I think there's a lot of streamers actually that will be like, oh, I love the idea of, and even like streamers that don't just stream Minecraft that want to do community stuff, and like then they try it a couple times and those kind of hurdles like hit, and then they're like, oh my god, like I don't know if this is exactly what I was signing up for or whatever. Like what has kind of been your experience with like doing community nights and like growing them and figuring out how you want them to look? Because especially like yours are always different. Like that's the other thing I've noticed about yours is like you have like a bunch of different plugins, or like, you know, you do a Bed Wars night or like other things.
Yeah, I mean, definitely with having more people in the community, it's been harder to juggle a lot of the issues that come with that. I
Mm-hmm.
did a community night a while ago, and there was like 7 people that I didn't even really know that well in the VC, and it was stressing me out so much. And so, you know, the last community night we did, which was yesterday, we did a subs VC, which helped a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
then we're also working on, you know, doing different events, like you said, which I think is nice because people get bored of the same thing over and over again, as I was saying. But we like to do different things, and people request stuff, and then generally I just try to do what the people want, you know? Like obviously I
Yeah.
like to do the things that I want to do too, but you know, to some extent I am here to bring something to the community. So I'd like to
Mm-hmm.
do things that people like to do to an extent, at least.
Well, I think that mindset translates over really well to like how you think about, because like, you know, one of the things we were talking about in the pre-interview, which for those that don't know, like I always we sit and chat for like 15 minutes before the interview, secrets out, but you know, is how, you know, especially coming into Minecraft and coming into speedrunning especially, it can be really hard to find a community. It can be really hard to find places, especially for non-men. Like the space is really male dominated, and so it's hard to kind of like get over those hurdles of just people being shitty, for lack of a better way to put it. But you know, I think that, I guess what I want to ask is like kind of what has your experiences there been, and how has it informed like the kind of spaces that you want to build?
That's a good question, actually, because I guess my experience as a woman in existence in the world is obviously quite different from yours, and like all of the spaces that I grew up in online were obviously very different than what you might have been a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times when I was a kid, and a lot of my viewers are younger, I didn't really have any spaces that I felt comfortable going to play with other people online. Like, it's kind of crazy to think I say this sometimes, but I never really played Minecraft online with strangers on the internet until I started streaming. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's crazy, but it's because I didn't feel like I could be comfortable in those kinds of spaces because they were all so male dominated. I mean, things are changing a lot now, which makes me really
Mm-hmm.
happy for the younger people, but you know, I just want to build a space that like 13-year-old me would have been happy to go and play and enjoy and just have a fun time. And a lot of my community too, they say such nice things to me, and they're like, oh, you helped me solve like some of my issues in my life, or it's nice to have someone to talk to. And it just makes me feel really happy that there's some kids out there that can get a benefit from what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. No, that's amazing, and I think that you know, like it it matters a lot to have representation, like, and I think it matters a lot to not just have representation but boldly so. Like one of the jokes that like I was telling you before, and I know that there are people that know this, like the speedrunning but as a woman title, stream title, like is just so iconic. Like it's just so, like I can never hear if someone said that sentence I would be like, oh, that's a Snakes original. Like that's
Yeah, you
like,
speed running, but I'm a woman.
right, sorry, my bad. Hey. Like
It's not speed running and I'm a woman, okay?
right,
Because there's something wrong here, right?
yeah. No, but I think that that bold. I think that you're not afraid to like say it, and I think that we were talking about this in relation to kind of like other work that you've done too, but I think that for younger folks, like for younger non-men especially, like if there's like what keeps you going, like what keeps you doing that, I don't know how else to put it, like what's your fire when it comes to like being like, no, I want to exist in this space.
Well, my main thing is just my passion for it. Like I've always loved playing Minecraft. Seriously, like it's kind of kind of a cliche thing to say, but I have seriously always loved playing Minecraft. And you brought up, we were talking about my other work that I do. As if some of you guys don't know, I am a woodworker and I'm also a drummer and musician. And those are all kind of male dominated fields. I've had to deal with a lot of what would the word be? Oppression. I don't want to say oppression, but there's been
I
people
mean,
trying to
like,
cut me down my whole life because I've been working and living and existing in these male dominated spaces. And I've just always wanted to just do those things, and I'm not going to let these men stop me from doing what I want to do.
gaslight, gatekeep, male wife, I don't know, no, but like, I think though that like what was I gonna say, like I think it's really I think that it's just so good to have like figureheads for this, and it's also this interesting thing too, where you don't want to push people into that position either. And so I think it's like when someone is willing to be like, no, look, I'm gonna put this on my stream title. I'm not just like I'm not, because I think that there's something about, there's a difference between having a figurehead, having a representative figure be like, no, I'm gonna call out this opposition that I'm feeling, that I'm experiencing, and like basically having other people who can sometimes, like very often people will be tokenized and placed into a position of being like, I'm going to be educational. Like I like the burden of education is something that I think about a lot, of like um like yeah, the bold choice to make that statement, I think, is really powerful. But anyway, I guess the kind of the next question is like, with speedrunning specifically, like, one of the things you mentioned too, and this is kind of related, is the thing that's really cool about it is it's very much you against yourself. It's you setting your own goals. It's you, working on your skill set, grinding for yourself. Like, you are your motivator. And I'm kind of curious, like, what that experience has been like for you, and what are some pieces of advice that you wish you could give yourself about, like, maybe like how you treat yourself, like how you communicate with yourself as you're learning. Like, I don't know, does this make sense? Like, things that are speed running, I don't know how else to put this, but just like I know for me, like, I'll be speed running, I'll be like, god damn, like, why can't I get this right? Like, why am I messing up? Or like, why can't I hit this number? Like what keeps you positive, I guess.
Yeah, I think one thing about me personally, just in general, is I love learning new things. So
Mm.
getting to learn all these new things to do with speedrunning just really excited me. But as you know, when you start getting older, it's really a lot harder to learn things than it used to be. And it can get extremely frustrating. And I was having this huge struggle when I was learning the Bastion routing. And I was just like so mad at myself. I was sitting there trying to learn it. I just could not get it down. I could not figure it out. I was struggling and struggling, and I'm like, I'm never gonna be able to run the housing top down. I'm still not very good at it, but once you get that, once you learn it, and once you're able to do it, it feels so good that it makes up for all of the hardship that you have to deal with along the way. Personally, I think. But sometimes there's things that I try to learn and it doesn't succeed. And I don't want to say I give up, but I pivot to something else and then I'll come back to it later. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to frustrate myself too much, especially since this is supposed to be a hobby. It's supposed to be something that I'm enjoying. And so, I was specifically like the Bastion routing example. I was learning treasure, and I was learning what's the other one now? I can't even remember. I'm not even a real speedrunner,
Stables or
guys.
no, you are. Stop.
No, no, not stables, but no,
Bridge.
the bridge. Yeah, so
Bridge
bridge
is
is gonna
wild
be.
because like Bridge has like 20 different routes.
I love bridge.
Yeah, it's
So
fun.
bridge and treasure were my favorites. So I learned those. I got those 100% down, and then housing was pissing me off. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just not gonna learn housing for now. I'm gonna start speedrunning without learning housing. Stables, I still haven't learned stables because I just literally cannot deal with it at this time. I don't have the mental energy to deal with it. So I'm like, you know what? I don't need to learn stables. If I go to a stables, I'll just reset. No big deal. Go to treasure, go to bridge. If I get to a housing, I'll try it. If I fail, no big deal. You know, you
Hmm.
just have to keep going, and if something is really frustrating you, I just try to pivot to do something else, and then you'll get back to it one day, and if you don't, no big deal. It's supposed to be fun, right? It's not supposed to be a chore. I just want to learn something new. I want to have fun, but also no, I've lost my train of thought.
I mean, I was gonna say
There's
like it's very true that feeling of coming back to something after getting frustrated by it is such a unique. It's really hard to remember that that can happen in the moment.
Yes. But then, once you come back to it from a new lens, new perspective, you might not even get frustrated by it the second time. But I remember what I was going to say about my goal. My goal was by the end of this year, I wanted to sub hour. I mean, we've got 10 days left. I haven't achieved it yet. It's still possible, I'm not going to say never, but I really thought that this goal was going to be achievable for me. And that's one thing that I feel strongly about, setting achievable, actionable goals and all of that good stuff. So it is very disappointing that I haven't yet reached that goal. And I am, finding it very hurting deeply inside of me, that I haven't been able to reach that. But sometimes things don't work out, and I just have to remember that, and I just have to have fun, and I'll get it eventually. Like, I know I have it in me. I believe that I can do it, but things happen. I didn't have the time to make it happen, and maybe it could happen. I'm gonna stream speedrunning on Wednesday, so maybe it'll happen. Who's to say?
Gamers show up on Wednesday, give some support. No, but I think like to that end, like I think that learning and the because like I know for me, I've also like I relate to that a lot. The feeling of like, man, like I was really hoping to hit this number by this date or that number by that date. And it's like for me, I always have to think about like, okay, like but you're learning. Like it's like just because it's not happening by this date, like you've also learned everything that you need to learn to potentially have it happen. Like it's just like because that's the thing that's so hard about speedrunning is like it just ends up being RNG. But I
True.
think that education and like apprenticeship and thinking about and like learning about how it's done is something that you actually really excel at, and which is why I bring all of that up. And I think that the fact that you also then turn around and teach and make TikToks that teach things about how to speedrun and how to play the game, I think is really cool. Like you know you said passion about learning, but also kind of like what drives you to be passionate about sharing what you learned rather than kind of keeping it for yourself, I guess.
To keep it all for yourself is definitely there, especially if, even if I develop some sort of strategy that I think is an excellent strategy, but you got to share the education. Like, I just want to inspire other people to do not necessarily what I'm doing, but I want to inspire people to do the things that they want to do. And, if I can do this thing, then hopefully that can inspire someone else to do something. But also, I've also really always had a passion for teaching. Like, I used to want to be a teacher. I
Mm.
still might be a teacher at some point in my life in some way or another, but that's something that I'm really interested in. And so that's one of the other good things about streaming is I can kind of take a lot of my passions and put them into the streaming thing. And a great thing about the community I've found is that they're kind of interested in seeing things that I want to do. So I've done like a cooking stream, I did a camping cooking stream, I did things
I
like that,
remember the
things
camp
that are
cooking
really
stream.
exciting for me.
Hmm.
And it was really nice because all these people wanted to come and watch me cook during my camping trip, which is like my most favorite thing in the whole world to do. And everyone enjoyed it. So it makes me really happy to just do all these things that I'm passionate about and inspire people to do the things that they want to do. And people come into my stream all the time saying like, I want to start streaming. Do you have advice? Where should I start? What, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, just do it. Just start. Just do it. If it's something you really, really want to do, why don't you just do it? Right? I don't understand the, what's the word?
Hesitation, maybe,
Yes. I don't understand the
or
hesitation. I mean, I do understand. Okay, actually, I don't want to say that.
Mhm.
That's a complete lie. I've lied during this interview now. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I think I
Shame
know what
on
you meant though,
me.
but no, go ahead. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, but I just realized that I'm a hypocrite because the when I was 13, I really wanted to start content creation. This kind of
Mm-hmm.
leads into like my backstory of why I started streaming, but I've always wanted to do some sort of content creation, and I was too scared. When I was a
Mm-hmm.
teen, I really wanted to. I've shared these cringy videos before that I've made, like YouTube videos when I was 13, Minecraft YouTube videos. It's very funny that I actually created these videos and I never put them out there into the world because I was too afraid of what people in my real life would think. I was too
Mm-hmm.
afraid of what everyone was going to think. And now, obviously, I've realized that it doesn't matter. But I want to be that driving force to these young people who really want to do something and they're afraid of the reaction or they're afraid of what people are going to say about it, to just go ahead and do it, because I wish I started when I was 13, because then I would have been able to build like such a deep foundation to what I'm doing. And who's to say if I did start when I was 13 if things would be different, if I would be like crazy successful, or if I would have quit by now, right? Who's to say?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I can't change the course of my life, but I don't want people to feel like they're being held back by other people's perception of them. And so I do feel a little hypocritical now for saying that, but just follow your dreams, guys. That's what I want to push. I push it every day.
I don't think you should feel hypocritical at all. That makes total sense. Like what am I trying to say? Like obviously there are things that hold people back from doing things that are really valid. But if it's just fear, sometimes a push is good. I don't know, and obviously like open to feedback on that. But like I think that kind of, especially when it comes to something that's like a dream like that, like what brought you to wanting to look into content creation and playing Minecraft at such a young age, like and finding that drive? Like what was that like?
I didn't have that personal connection. I didn't have that idea that I could really do it and enjoy and actually have any sort of success. Not saying success in a numbers, followers kind of sense, but success in personal success and enjoyment of what I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, also, I mean, not to be like this, but when I was a kid, like I couldn't just go on Amazon and buy a $20 webcam and a $20 microphone and $20
Mm-hmm.
lights and have a whole setup, right? Like you had to go down to the music store. Like I got my first microphone. I begged my parents to take me to the music store so I could get it. It's actually the one that I'm using right now for streaming.
That's fun.
And I've had it for like 10 years because I wanted it so badly.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that I had to save up for like 3 years when I was a kid. And now the possibilities for young people, there's so many more possibilities. And I just really want people to get out there and do it, and not let the things you have stop you. But when I was young, I definitely could have started and I did make these videos, but I didn't have as much opportunity as I feel like people do have right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's really. I mean, I think that it's so funny, like especially the way you think about these things, that it's Minecraft that you're drawn to, because like in so many ways it is, because it is, you can do so much with it. Like yeah, like for you, like what is it about Minecraft that makes those dreams more easily like I guess manifestable, like easily made physical, like to actually do it, I guess is what I mean to say.
I guess I don't know, I've just always loved Minecraft so much, probably because I'm a creative type. I'm in all factors of my life. I am like a creative type. I've always been into gaming. My brother is a big gamer and he's amazing at video games, honestly. Like I could never be as good as him. He will beat me. He just like as we were growing up, you know, we would play together all the time. All summer we're playing together, and he would just destroy me every single day in every single game. And I just could never really bring that to video games until I started playing Minecraft, and I was seeing success, and I was seeing, you know, my creativity come through, and it wasn't all like hand-eye coordination and all this stuff that my brother was so good at. And so I finally had an opportunity to play a game that really excited me, and it made me super happy. So that's kind of where my love of gaming has always been there, but I really don't like doing things that I'm not good at. So that's why Minecraft has always been something. And also Minecraft doesn't really have like, there's no winning or losing Minecraft really, which is great for me because I lose a lot. But now, you know, that I've been working on it and working on my skills for so long, I do like to have that satisfaction and that goal and all that stuff to reach, which is, I think, part of the reason why I've gotten into speedrunning, which is a new development for me, obviously. Like, I used to play Minecraft. I've been playing since probably like 10 or more years Minecraft, but I just started speedrunning this year. I just started playing Bed Wars this year. And those performance-based metrics are something that really excite me. But before, I never would have done it because I would have been like, I'm gonna lose. I can't. Blah 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 blah. But Minecraft is great because there is no losing. You just die and then you come back.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I know another thing that I definitely wanted to like ask you about too is like, especially like in the same vein, like, one thing that you've done a lot of is post on TikTok and figure out like how to navigate that space, which also is kind of this very accessible space for creatives. Like it is like anyone can just kind of, I mean, not anyone, it's not everyone has a phone, but like everyone that has a phone like can essentially like get onto TikTok and then like experience it. And it makes for a really interesting, like, it also makes for a really interesting like chat experience, having people like, I know you do a lot of like the TikTok lives too, like how has that balance been? And like, you know, especially like, yeah, like let's go there first. Like culturally, you know, TikTok chatters are like are a specific like energy, which I think is really cool, and I think you manage it really well. But I'm kind of curious like how you think about it and like what draws you to I use TikTok to promote my Twitch, you know what I mean? Like
Before I answer, I saw Jen wrote in chat, watching Snakes speedrun inspired me to try it, and that just makes me so happy, honestly. I really love that. I hear that sometimes, and it just makes me want to cry. It makes me so, so happy. But anyway, off on a tangent. But in regards to TikTok, obviously the reason I started TikTok, like every other Twitch streamer, was I used TikTok to promote my Twitch, right? And from that, you know, I started originally posting on TikTok like every once in a while, and it was very slow going. Nothing really was working out. And then I was reading all this stuff, getting into small streamer communities, and they're like, you gotta post 2 times a day, you gotta post 3 times a day, you gotta post 5 times a day. And so I just had to go for it. I'm like, I'm just gonna go for it. We're gonna make it happen. So I started posting 2 TikToks a day, which is a lot of work, obviously, as I'm sure anybody who makes TikToks know. And then, you know, I was seeing some good growth posting 2 TikToks a day. I'm like, you know what, guys? I'm gonna post 3 TikToks a day. Let's go for it, right? And I did have to streamline my process a lot in order to be able to actually post 3 TikToks a day. It's a crazy amount of things to post, but it's streamlined it enough that it's not too crazy. I mean, hopefully I can sustain it. I think it's going well so far. I've been doing it for like 3 months, three times a day, I think. And yo, that's a lot of TikToks.
Let me just go on record and say that, like, so Snakes on Snakes is a goddamn inspiration. Like, and I literally was like, because I started posting TikToks 3 times a day, and I messaged you right before, and I was like, this is, what do you think about this? Like, what's your takeaways? And you were like, you got to do it. It just makes sense. And like the way that I can't do it, the way that like I look, because we were talking about it, I remember looking through your TikToks. I was like, holy, I cannot believe that she fucking fully like has just posted 3 TikToks a day for 3 months. Like actually, like you can like verifiably like the dedication and the just general like also having other jobs and like consistency of making that happen. Like it's phenomenal. Like I can't it's like, I don't know. That's one of the things of for me where it's like, oh, like Snakes is not just like out here doing the thing. Like she's fully like organized and has goals and wants to make things happen, and that's pretty pog, I think.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate you saying that. It's nice for someone to, recognize the
Mm-hmm.
effort that I am putting in, and people watch the TikToks, and it makes me really happy because I've seen a lot of growth recently on TikTok. Maybe not recently, but over my TikTok journey, once I started posting 3 TikToks a day, it's been really amazing the direct feedback I've gotten from posting 3 TikToks a day, of having that kind of growth and that kind of success, which makes me really happy because, I cross post all my TikToks 3 times a day to YouTube Shorts, to Instagram, and to Hover. By the way,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have Hover, you can use my referral code snakes.
Not the propaganda. Oh my.
But I'm just kidding. I mean, I do
No, fair
actually have a
enough.
referral code, but I'm
No, yeah, yeah. If you want to drop, listen. If you want to drop it, I haven't downloaded Hover yet. So
yeah,
like, there's
download
no
Hover.
Sam.
Use my referral code. It's snakes. Come
Oh
on,
my god,
get
is
on
it
there.
just
Get on there.
snakes?
Yeah.
Did you get snakes on Hover? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
So
Um.
yeah, guys, hop on there. But the thing is, on Instagram, I've been cross posting the entire time that I've been using TikTok. I've been cross posting. I just hit 50 followers on Instagram, and it's been like a ridiculous amount of work to get 50 followers on Instagram. And it's like, followers don't matter and all that stuff. But also, I've gotten 2,800 followers on TikTok, right? So
Mhm.
it's just the different platforms. But then I don't want to stop doing one of the other ones and all this stuff. But then I started posting on YouTube Shorts, and I've seen a ton of growth on YouTube Shorts as well. And then Hover as well, I've seen a lot of growth, and the Hover community is so nice as well. So it's interesting to see the differences between the platforms and the communities, because I think the TikTok community is so wonderful, and they're also loving and caring and creative and lovely. And then I repost all my TikToks onto YouTube Shorts. I get so many hate comments, like every day is hate comments, hate comments, hate comments. I'm like, what is going on? Why are these people being so mean? But I don't particularly care. I find it funny,
Mm.
as some of you guys know, I have a channel in my Discord called Snakes Hate, where I post all of the hate
Mhm.
comments so we can laugh at
Mhm.
them, which I think is hilarious.
And like again in that same vein of just like being willing to be like, no, like I'm who I am. Like you can't stop me. You're not stopping me. Like I would laugh at your hate. Like I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I
Um.
mean, that's the kind of attitude you have to have, I feel like, if you're
Mhm.
going to be online. But I feel like I didn't even answer your question, but I've just been really excited about the communities on each of these platforms. And I think
Mhm.
that they've been growing very nicely. And just having all these people who are, there's people who come and they comment first on my videos, and they're like, I love your videos. I watch them every day. They make me so happy.
Mm.
Oh, I watched your video today and it made me forget about some terrible thing happening in my life. Sometimes they're like really terrible things, and it's horrible, but it just makes me really happy that these people like watching the things that I make, and obviously I like making these things, so it's just like it all comes full circle. It's very exciting.
Well, so we actually have a few minutes left before we have a few minutes left, Snakes.
Oh my
Well, I
gosh.
don't know. I didn't actually mention this on stream. I forgot to mention it. But one of the things that we do on the show here is like I'll ask a question. But before I ask the question, there's an opportunity for chat to ask a question. So y'all, if while we're talking about the next thing that we're talking about, if you want to post a question for Snakes in chat, I will gladly relay it, and we'll answer maybe one or two of those. But in the meantime, one of the things like so we've talked about a lot of things here, and I think that the truth there for me is you do a lot of things and you really value variety, and my ultimate point is like you're managing a lot of different stuff. And I'm kind of curious, like, what is that just does that come naturally to you? Like, do you have you like what helps to make that happen? Like, what keeps you so expansive, I guess is the question.
Well, personally, I have a very stats and metrics based, like, like that's how I set my goals, basically. Like I try to reach this next number, right? Even though I do say the numbers don't matter, but that's just kind of the way I am. Like I have to see these goals and I have to see these stats. Like one of the things that I started doing over the pandemic, this is completely unrelated, but I was starting doing intermittent fasting, and it's just like this idea of having these goals and these numbers that I have to hit. That's what drives me to succeed and drives me to work hard. So that's the way I motivate myself, is by being like, okay, if I do this and this and this, then I will get to this goal that I have set to for myself. But that's the way that I personally am motivated. And I think that people have to find the way that they are motivated. But the other thing is, I just set this goal. I'm going to post 3 TikToks a day. We'll do it. Like, it's happening. I've decided I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it. There's no like not posting a TikTok on a day. I forgot to post a TikTok one day, and I felt so guilty and terrible. So, you know, just guilt yourself into hating yourself if you don't do all the things that you need to do, and you'll succeed. Don't do that, actually. That's terrible advice.
We do stand Snakes. Yeah, y'all, thank you all so much for being here. No questions, but we just all want to say Snakes is a real one, and that's just true. And that's just true.
So nice.
That's so true. Yeah, no, Snakes, I really appreciate you being on the show.
No, I'm so happy to be here, and I just hope, hope I can inspire some people to live their dreams. Don't let people hold you back. All that good stuff, but also just like do the things you want to do, and do them. Do them now. Right now, literally. Like, don't stop. Just keep going.
Totally.
Just keep going.
Well, one of the last things not to put you on the spot, one of the last things we do here is we let the guest guide the raid, potentially. I do have someone in mind. Queen Casey is actually live, who's also a non-male speedrunner. She's fantastic. If you don't know her, I can do a shout out in chat. But otherwise, yeah, like if there's anyone, if you want to check your following and see if there's anybody you'd want to raid, we can definitely do that.
You know, you're like, the guest can guide the raid, but there's this person that I really think we should raid.
It's not that. It's more of just like, I want to make, that's a shout out. That's just me giving a shout out to this person. And we do not have to rate. I've actually rated her before. So it's like super not, we don't have to do that.
No, I like that. I like the sound of that. I love a non-male speedrunner for sure. So
she's cracked too. Her PB is like 14 minutes.
Let me see if there's anyone on my list that's really 14 minutes.
Yeah. No, she's sick. You need to, yeah. You should watch her.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to do it. I should stop. You're right, I should stop doing that. I just like, I don't know. I don't like putting people.
I'm just saying that you're not actually giving the person the choice, because of course they're going to say, yes, Sam, let's do whatever you want.
Oh, God. Well, Snakes, thanks for calling me out on that. Anyway, it's really been great. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Oh my gosh, this was so much fun.
It was really.
I feel like there's so much more. We've only scratched the surface, so we're gonna have to do this again sometime.
Totally. No, absolutely. Like, we'll have to do a follow up. Like, especially when you sub hour this week.
Oh, everybody? Yeah, I'm gonna sub hour this week. Well, everybody in chat, like, get excited. If you have any topics, let Zam know, because y'all want to hear from us. Y'all definitely do.
Snakes Part 2, let's go. Gamers, thank you all so much for being here. Snakes, thanks so much for being here. Stay safe. Thank you so much, Jen, for dropping the raid message. What else am I forgetting? I don't know. I'm going to go eat Taco Bell. That's where I'm at today.
Well, everyone who came over here from my community, thank you guys for coming to watch. That's so nice. And, you guys all know we love Zam. We're, like, obsessed with Zam. So if you came over from my community and you don't follow Zam already, honestly, what are you doing? You have a problem. And seriously, drop Zam a follow. Drop me a follow.
Drop Snakes a follow. Especially folks that watch me. If you don't already follow Snakes, you must.
No, I'm just kidding. But no, I really appreciate everyone, and we love Zam's community, and I'm just really glad that you invited me to be on this, and I'm very excited for seeing the rest of your interviews with other people.
Definitely. Yeah, y'all keep an eye out on the YouTube. At some point soon, I'll get there. All right, thank you all so much. Bye.